this little video clip we will call picking and storing of fruit. The best fruit to pick are those in Tesco's. That's because they've been sprayed loads and they've also been picked early. If you pick fruit early, they're like rocks, and they can travel around the world then. The only problem with picking early fruit is that they stay like rocks, they don't ripen, and eventually in your fruit bowl they will just rot rather than ripen. So you should pick your fruit when they're ready. Ideally, you should know the variety that you're picking. But if you don't know because if you know the variety, you can then look in your books and it will tell you the best time to pick them, or it will vary each year, but the most likely time to pick them. If you don't know the varieties, just look at the ground. I always let 10% or so fall on the ground. Then I think about testing them.
Good for the blackbirds, Ian, letting them fall on the ground.
Yeah, right. Before I was so rudely interrupted by this member of the RSPB. So to pick them, you pick them when they're ripe, and that is when the small corky abscission layer has formed at the top of the apple stalk or the fruit stalk, and it's going to naturally come away from the tree. Professional pickers, they say they pull their fruit, they're going pulling. It is in fact the last thing you do. You should unhook your fruit very gently, lift it up and twist it, and it should come away. If it doesn't come away, or if a lot of them don't come away, then come back in a couple of weeks. Bear in mind that the outermost shell of fruit, if you like, the top ones and the ones on the outside will ripen early. You might come back later for the trees within the canopy. I'll just see if this one comes off. There we go, look at that. Just popped off in my hand. Make sure that the stalk is still intact, because if it isn't, like this one here, if there is no stalk, it means you've picked it early. Sorry, John. You right? People know what no stalk, yeah?
There, that's better.
If there is no stalk, this is a stalk one. There's one with no stalk. If there's no stalk, you're likely to get an infection in that cavity during storage. No stalk, they won't keep for a long time, but obviously damaged ones like this we would tend to use first, or we chuck them. This is an interesting variety. It's called Darcy Spice. It's an Essex apple. It grows very well in North Wales. You can see it's very, very disease resistant. You can see it hangs well on the tree, but the problem with it is it doesn't develop its famous spicy flavour. Normally it would do that January or March. So whilst it grows well in North Wales, it doesn't develop its flavour very well, and soon I will probably rework this tree into something more appropriate. If we look over here, this apple here has been bird pecked. This will rot in storage. We either use this immediately or chuck it. This apple here, it's actually a Bramley. It's very scabby, and you can see some of these scabs have now cracked. If you tried to store this, you would get a secondary fungal infection in, and the fruit would rot in storage. So we'd either use this immediately for cooking, because it won't have developed its flavour, or chuck it. Likewise, this pear here, this is a cooking pear, this fell on the ground and it's got a wound in it. Any that have been damaged against the tree or on the ground, they won't keep. Chuck them. Having said that, this pear here, it's been attacked by a capsid bug and it's healed over. It's got away with it. It doesn't look very pretty, but this pear would keep. This apple here has been pecked with a bird and it's healed over. That will keep. And round here you can see that's been attacked by an apple sawfly. Again, it's healed over, so that will keep in storage. Once we've picked our fruit, what I use to store them, I go to Tesco's and steal a load of their apple boxes with these cardboard inserts, and you can get different size inserts, bigger ones for your cookers and smaller ones for your smaller apples. By far the best ones are these cardboardy kind, because when the fruit's in there it doesn't sweat. If you can, you get single story fruit boxes rather than double stories, and then when you put your fruit in, that one's not ready. When you put your fruit in, they can be in the box, and then you can just whiz through every couple of weeks checking them out, and you can check 30 apples at a time very quickly and very easily. You put your boxes in your garage or your shed. You want something that's dark and airy and quite damp, and that stops your fruit drying out. And the final thing is, if you think you've got rats as a problem, you have to do something about it, otherwise you will get rats chewing them. You either poison them or you put rat traps down. If you're going to poison, bear in mind it's a problem if you've got pets. That's it, John, thank you.